stronger. Julie will tell me she'll explain that a bit later. We're going to have to relocate temporarily. Okay, we have the room here this morning. I do not think I see a new. Anybody here for the first time? Can I see it again? Looks like the second timers, third timers, whatever it needs to be. That's okay. I'm glad that you made it out. On your table, all the table should have at least one of these. Somewhat of the format, how we're structured, how we're going to run the show. Unfortunately, it says we start meeting at 8 a.m. That is yet to take place because usually at 8 o'clock there's only maybe half a dozen service in here. But fortunately, starting by 8:10 at least, we're typically out here by 9 anyway. So don't have to be too rigid on starting time. Okay? And occasionally I like to emphasize other aspects of how we're structured, how we try to run the show, if you will. You'll also notice right there in the middle of the page, if you are here for the first time, then it's the coffee and breakfast snacks are free. If you are not a chamber member, that is. Once you continue coming as a non-chamber member, second, third, fourth time, whatever, we ask that you please provide $1 donation in the non-member bucket. I see there's $1 in there already. Okay, cool. All right, that's all I'm going to emphasize on our format. Also, make sure your cell phone is on silent vibrate if you would, please. Okay. Listen up. I'm going to turn everything over to Julie, our executive director. She provided some announcements regarding what else is going to take place over the next 30 days, typically. As she may even talk about the awards night for the last Friday. How many of you were there beside me? Great time. It was a great time. Awesome. Very good. Take it away, Julie.
Thank you, Mark. So welcome. Yeah, there are a lot of faces in here that were there. But I wanted to recognize a few people. I wanted to thank again our planning committee for helping to make that all happen. It was a great night. It looks like everyone enjoyed themselves. Really got into the theme. I want to thank Carol Lee. Not many people know, but she created quite a few of those 1920s authentic outfits. Made it really fun. It's great to look back to those pictures. I'm also happy that you were able to take advantage of some of those tickets that some of our sponsors wanted to use, and it looks like we all had your chance to, so it's great to have you at a different event where you can meet other members that you may not already see. Want to again thank our sponsors and our sponsor board, so we appreciate all the support with that. We had a few flapper sponsors coming to the end after we had it printed, digital disruptors and public services, so we appreciate that extra support. And what else? So there are quite a few winners in the room. So Barb Williams actually is the recipient of special recognition for all the time he's given the chamber. Specifically, you see him at this venue. He's our coordinator. But in addition to that, Barb served as a chairman for the Chamber of Commerce, and he's at all the ribbon cuttings, and he does all kinds of things. So Barb received a recognition at our event. We appreciate everything he does. Bonnie Tillman actually received our Volunteer of the Year award. I wonder why. We always see Bobby gives of his time and just comes and sets up, and I actually had to convince him to eat his dinner and not film the entire event. Because I wanted him and his wife to enjoy themselves. But I appreciate everything you do. So congratulations on that award. We have several nominees in the room. Sherry Cersei was nominated again. She's been a multiple time recipient of different awards in the chamber for all that she does. Linda Yo is also a nominee. David Mandella was a nominee as well. Christy Denny was a nominee. We also have Deontay Armstrong actually received the new member of the year award. She's representing Verizon today. Seth Thomas is actually a nominee as well. So I'm just month. We'll have pet suites in February for this event. If you are interested in sponsoring any event for the Chamber in 2020, come plan your year with us. Tell us what you're interested in doing. What can we do to help with your business? What programs do we have that might align with some of your initiatives? What members can we introduce you to? What segments of the community do you want to get plugged in to help your business? It's all about really making connections, and whether I can help you with that initially, or I can connect you with another member of the chamber that I know can help, that's really what it's all about. So let me know, give me a call, email me. I'd love to talk with you and get you active in 2020. As Mark mentioned, we are here another week next week, and then we move. I appreciate Matthew Soto with Keller Mobility has offered his space over here, not far, so it won't be too far from this location, right next to Country Burger. We're going to give that a try. It's a little smaller, but we're going to try to make it work. We're still going to have the ability to do presentations for our sponsor spotlights. And then we'll have a place where we can put our brunches, treats, and everything. So we're going to give that a try. Just remember, February 6th, we are here. February 13th is when we do. It will be posted on our Facebook page, website, and I'll be saying it as many times as I can, and also send an email. Wanted to also let you know that our 2020 directory will be mailed out first thing next week, so look in your mailboxes for that. It will be mailed out to all Murphy residents and people with a Murphy address, and then in addition to that, there will be separate mailings for any of you that are members that are not in the Murphy zip code. If for some reason you don't see that come out in the next week, give me a call. I'll make sure I get you a copy. We will have several locations in Murphy that will have additional copies throughout the year for people in the public to view and serve as a resource for our city. All right, and going into the programs in February. So February 18th, we have our first luncheon of the year. Registration will be live soon in the next week. You can sign up for that. If you have anyone you know that might want to attend, the format is you have a catered lunch. We have a sponsor speaker that goes for 5 minutes, but our main speaker is usually someone that would be of interest to a business. We have different topics booked for 2020. Linda Yo's our programs director, and she's in charge of finding those. She always does a wonderful job. She attends many networking groups and has a great knowledge of different speakers out there. If you also have suggestions, topics you'd like to see that maybe we haven't covered, just shoot me an email and let me know, and I can get the information back to you. Our speaker for this luncheon is going to be David Mandella, and he's going to be talking about some good things to keep you safe. His actual title is a 2020 A New Decade of Cyber Challenges. So he always has great information to share, gets your mind going, and then you go home and think, what do I need to do to protect myself and everything? So that'll be a great talk. Again, February 18th, 11:30 to 1. Also in February later, the following week, February 27th, David's going to expand on the topic. So he only gets a half hour in the lunch. But at the education seminars, he gets the full hour and a half. So if there's more that you want to hear on that, I would encourage you to sign up. It's free for members, $5 for non-members, and it's a lunch and learn format. So yeah, it's interactive. We can order the lunch in advance. You can just pay for it online when you register. You can have it there for you, or you can bring your own lunch. That actually will be at the Murphy Road Baptist Church as well as our lunch, and those two things will be held there. Again, that's going to be February 27th. That's a Thursday.
There'll be handouts. There'll be takeaways for people that come.
Okay, great. Yeah, so like Linda said, it's just an interactive thing, classroom learning, great points for you to take away to help you with your business. So I encourage you to attend that, as well as we do have 3 more in 2020 that we want to put to the corner. I also wanted to mention that the Scholarship Foundation is going to be taking applications for their students. So Murphy students that live in Murphy, can apply for a scholarship, and the committee reviews them and then awards them in May. So the period to apply is February 1st through April 1st, and Sherry, if you want to say anything more on this, you can. But they will be, I will have the application loaded on the website where they, if anyone's interested, seniors can go to the website, fill it out, and then the committee will review it and make those decisions in the spring. It's a great program. We've awarded over $94,000 so far in the program to Murphy seniors. So it's great for them as an opportunity. I'm always here for questions. It's a large vendor event. If you think it would benefit your business to set up a booth and promote yourself to the community, and it is truly a community event. Happens over here in the Lowe's parking lot, and you have from 10 to 4 to set up your booth, get people to go there, tell them about what you do. We also fill the stage with bands, we have student groups, all different things to get people there and make it a fun day. So that's 10 to 4, April 14th. You're going to hear more about it. But soon you will see information going out if you want to be a sponsor of that event. It's going to be big, and I encourage you to think about it. I've got different price points and different opportunities to fit with whatever you may be interested in. So that's coming. Stay tuned, and registration will be live for that soon. So, all right, I've set it up. And there's a lot to say. So let's get started. Let's start over at this thing. Linda, would you like to start?
Obviously, Linda with marketing, everybody knows I sell tchotchkes. What I'm looking for, gearing up for summer, are contacts with churches. Lots of them do vacation Bible school, and they usually, the ones that I've heard of, buy T-shirts. So I'd love to be able to give a quote to a church that needs some T-shirts or any other kind of tchotchkes to help their vacation Bible school. I'm Linda with Persona Marketing. What's your persona?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's requested for everybody to get up and do the jumping jacks. But no, it's getting warmer now. One of my clients' why is to break, quote, generational curse to be obese, unquote. So he can be the example for his families, he can play with his grandchildren, and finally train as a certified fitness coach. So my question to you, if you find yourself stuck in losing those stubborn 20 pounds, ask yourself, what is your why? Your why needs to be bigger than you are. Something that makes you cry. My name is Nadia Dutch. I'm certified health, life, and fitness coach, and I help women in their 50s to lose stubborn 20 pounds.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kushbu Gandhi, and we are from Motivator Home. I missed it for a couple of months, so I'm so glad to be here. We do have a new patient special going on, so if anybody has any dental needs, please give us a call. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm with her. And it's good to see everybody again. Nice big crowd. Everybody's had a great holiday season. Everybody's safe and sound. Also, she is coming up to her 1-year anniversary, February 4th.
Has a unique buy foreclosure. Don't see that buy foreclosure. Or facing foreclosure, someone buys foreclosure, you might need some advice how to proceed in that time period. George Miles, Dorino, is specialist in foreclosures anywhere 100 miles from this point.
Good morning. We're at the end of January. If finally you can't keep up in the new year with office tasks, we're here to help. So just let us know. We do almost anything in the office. Also have computer services, notary services. We can't do it all. We want us to call. And we have personal assistance.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Austin, and as a business coach, I help people build profitable businesses. But not just profitable businesses, but ones that support the life that they want to have, the lifestyle, time they want to spend with their family. The way I do that is I help you get really clear on what that looks like, and then help you figure out how to get there. And then most importantly, I help you navigate stuff that comes up along the way that may prevent you from getting there, like marketing and sales, and even the noise in your head that says I can't do this. At the end of the day, my clients make more money, we have more time, and we have a lot less stress. So if you know someone who can use my help, please introduce me. I really appreciate it. Deborah Austin, yes, she's a
know Mark told you to turn off your phone, but go to Facebook and check in. This is my new resolution, is to check in anytime I come to a Murphy Chamber event, and I'll figure out how to hook all that other stuff up. After the meeting.
Hey everybody, Lacey from Verizon. As you know, we do cell phones and tablets. I specifically work with small to medium businesses. We also do asset tracking, employee timesheets, as well as office communications. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, we're having what's called SMB Day. So it's an event specific towards small to medium businesses. If you're purchasing a new phone with us, we can get you a $200 bill credit per line to purchase a new phone. If you're going to bring your own phone, it's $20 off of the plan for 18 months, which turned out to be like a whole lot of money. So come talk to me, okay?
Good morning, my name is Krishna Bhatia. I own a franchise, PMI Star of Texas. We do single-family property management, primarily in Collin and Dallas County. So how many of you have thought about buying a investment property? Yeah. Okay. So the rest of you who have not thought about it, you need to be thinking about it. There's a couple of realtors in the room that I'm sure would help you. I'm on a team with Matthew. It's real easy to buy an investment property. There's a lot of opportunities out there. I would love to sit down with you and consult you, help you with location, pricing, understanding the rent. It's free. Please take me up on that offer. I've got some information here. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Central Range and Valley located in East Plano, and we are the collision repair expert, and we also do hail damage repair. Last year, one person came with a small car, it's a Porsche, and wanted to just paint the fender, one fender. So I told him, I said, it won't look too good if you have that. It's an older car, it's a 20, and what is that, 2018, which was a newer car, but the paint somehow came off. So what happened, we painted that, and he brought it back 2 weeks ago to paint the old car. So that's how we help people. If you know someone who needs our help, send them our way. Remember, Central Paint and is the right place.
Morning, gang. Terry will say we're on voting man. I know. We've been there since 1973. Been in business since 1963. So if you need any help with your vehicles or anything, just ring. We'll be there for you. Thank you.
Good morning, Christy Dunham with the Dell Dennis Group. You're a local independent financial advisory firm. This past week, I got the pleasure of meeting with a new prospect who you could tell this person was pretty hesitant to sit down with me because he had done so much of the investing on his own. And he was pretty proud of what he had done, but he knew there was room for improvement. He had an array of questions down from college savings for his kids to Social Security and how that works, small business opportunities, and we were able to give him a plethora of ideas. He's very excited. I, of course, commended him for trying this on his own and being pretty successful for the most part, but he just needed a little bit of help to get to the next level. So if you know anybody who, if that's you in your position, look, it's for free. We invest in you before you choose to invest in us. Christy Dunn with the Jacksons.
Morning, David Mandella, secured by them. I help small businesses avoid data loss on the internet. What I don't do is I don't do break fix on computers. I do have people that I work with that will help you if you manage to mess up your computer or it gets ransomware or what have you. What I do is focus on your network and keep you from getting hit and add another layer to your security. I'll be talking about that, as Julie said, this coming month. And I'll have handouts, so if you're interested, come on out and see that. If you want to have a one-on-one to get more information, I'm always available. David Mandella, secured by them. I'll be helping you who and what is on your network.
Hi, I'm Carol Lee with So What. That's my business. I sew for people. I do alterations. I teach, and I do embroidery, design clothes. But I wanted to share with you, a lot of you don't realize I teach little kids to sew, and it's really fun. I have a 7-year-old and I have a, not personally, my kids are grown. God, no. But I have 2 14-year-olds and a 10-year-old that I teach. And they are so delightful and they have so much fun. They get away from their parents, it's a one-on-one. They enjoy the time together with just that personal attention that they get from me, because I don't have a group. It's just one-on-one, and I let them go. I mean, they sew, they iron, they whatever and parents are going, no ironing, no ironing. You know, they're afraid of them getting burned. Kids are resilient. They do what you want them to. So anyway, just wanted to let you know. I know that I had never talked about my kids before, but I really enjoy teaching. So if you know somebody that wants their child to learn how to sew, contact me at Carol Lee with Sew What. And sewing is my superpower.
Sewing is what?
My superpower.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. John Shepherd Pest Management, we're family owned and operated since 1980. That's 40 years to those that didn't go back. Anyway, we've been in Murphy since 1990, when this building right here was the only building standing in this area. We do commercial and residential pest control. Pretty simple. But the rats are coming. Just leave you with that.
Lutron, financial advisor with Edward Jones. I help people identify what their financial dreams and needs are. Basically, we sit down, we have a discussion about what's important to you and how we can make sure that whatever plan that you need in place for your goals, that we can help develop it and make sure that you stay on track throughout your life. It's one thing to get to retirement, it's another thing living in retirement. Lutron, financial advisor, let me help you live your dreams.
Hi, I'm Megan Monty. I'm the owner of Gateway Insurance. This isn't my first time here, but it's my first time in a really long time. So it's great to see a lot of familiar faces and so forth. But I own Gateway Insurance. We're an independent insurance agency just down the road here in Wiley, Texas. We try to bring a different experience to your insurance buying. One thing that sets us apart from everyone else, I have my degree in risk management and insurance. It's pretty rare to find that. I also have 15 years of underwriting experience with a large Fortune 10 company. So if you're not being insured the right way, if you're not getting the service and the expertise that you need, please call Brightway. And it's good to see all of you. I hope to be coming a lot more often this year.
Did you fall asleep once?
Apologize for being late. My daughter lost a classmate last night, a senior. So, yeah, it was a little difficult. So all that to say is my goal is to teach people that pain is not just a physical, it's biological and psychological as well, and as well as social. So I'm local, I'm licensed massage therapist. I teach people that from a neuroscience background, and that pain is actually more about sensory, and especially those who suffer with chronic pain for a while. I have a new class at the Oak Point Center in February. I teach people a little bit about pain science. We do a little body scan, and I'm also teaching you some movements, how you can move yourself through your pain experience, because the goal is always to have no drugs and no surgery. My tagline is, I ran pain relief therapy, take care of your body, it's the only place you have to live.
I'm currently a full-service IT company called Cloud Advice. I can help with servers, networks, laptops, desktops, pretty much anything IT I can help with. So if you know community. So if you haven't yet liked it, please do that and take a look at it over there. Appreciate it.
Good morning, I'm Matthew Soto with the Soto Real Estate Group here at Keller Williams in Murphy. We specialize in residential real estate, so we can help you or anybody you know buy, sell, invest, build, or lease. We also now do property management with Krishna on our team, so if you know, we can help you build your portfolio, your investment portfolio. I bought my first one last year and probably going to buy 5 more this year. So if you know anybody who wants to get into real estate as a career, let us know as well. We can help them with the classes and guide them to the path of getting a real estate career started. So I'm Matthew Soto with the Soto Real Estate Group.
Good morning, and my name is Mu-Yong Choi, and I'm from Master Choice World Class Technology. A lot of people are questioning about who are you, and you can Google it, and a lot of my hopefully new student and keep a lot of review. I'm really thankful for the overall view of the student. But you really I'm ready to share with them my technical experience and the all of the age, not just only kids. And I really wanted to share with your family. So I think in these areas don't have a family class, but I'm only the one who's learning the family class from the Buffalo, New York. So I'm really ready to invest the community and also your family as well. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's a great day to be a dog or cat at Pet Murphy. We do dog boarding, dog daycare. We do bathing, dog grooming. I am looking for a groomer. Anybody knows one that's looking for a job. And we also have cat grooming. I am the sponsor today, so that's the first time I've ever done that. It's kind of fun. Next week, I'm going to give you my story. Some of y'all are like, who is this kooky little blonde? I'll tell you who this kooky little blonde is next week. So come next week, and I'll tell you about me, and I'll tell you about Pet Series. What else? Oh, I mentioned Facebook. We have a Facebook page, of course. If you want to just fill your page full of puppies and kitties, like our Facebook page. Thank you, guys.
It's hard to follow that. I'll do my best. So they say that people who procrastinate are some of the most brilliant people in the world. Let me just tell you, I have a lot of brilliant students. I was up until 3:30 this morning writing answer keys for my students, taking the TMPA theory test this weekend because they didn't have tests done for me to actually go over with them. So, if anybody ever accuses me of not being dedicated, I was until 3:30 right now. Seth Thomas with Seth Thomas Artistic.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Howard. I'm with Aflac. This time of year, everyone's thinking about taxes. Take this time, do yourself a favor, talk to these experts. I don't know where the other guy went. Get your financial house in order, okay? Think about what happens in life. Life happens, don't let something unexpected ruin your financial life from here on out, okay? Talk to the experts, see what insurance and cancer coverage and everything can do to protect you and your family going forward. Again, Howard with Aflac.
Sammy Garner. I also am with Aflac. I saw a poster once when I was teaching that said, life happens when you're making other plans. And I immediately thought of Kobe Bryant and the people that were on his helicopter. He wasn't expecting that the end of his life and his daughters and the people on that helicopter, neither was his family. Life happens when you're not expecting. So please be prepared. Aflac can help you with that. It can help you with taking care of those financial needs when you are hit unexpectedly with accidents or illness. Thank you very much, Sammy Garner with Aflac.
Bobby, you're up.
Good morning, I'm Bob with Special Webs. I was wandering around back there and I was looking at this Braille stuff. Do you notice that the drive-through at the banks, the ATMs, the drive-throughs have Braille? I wondered about that. We do. I never thought of that.
I've seen it, but
Self-driving cars, man.
Oh my goodness, how'd I get off on that? But it was a good time with and I want to commend Julie and all the crew that put the program together the other night. That was very nice, and I was honored to be a recipient of this award. I got to thinking, if I got that as the best volunteer, you got no one else supposed to be doing anything. So. Pretty low, but thank you very much. We do website work, hosting, management, anything that you need. Static ads are very good on Facebook. Videos, add a whole bunch to that. We've done so many videos lately. We've got some running for political candidates right now. We've been filming things. I had to leave last week and go film a deal over at Congressman Taylor's office for a project they're working on. And I love doing these sorts of things. And I appreciate the compliments. But I enjoy doing this. I get to meet some wonderful people. There's a few of you in here that's wonderful, and I like that. But anyway, thank you very much. Bob Tillman with Special Webs. We untangle the web for you.
If you are a member of the chamber, there are two benefits to being in this meeting. Okay, one of those is, looks like we have some door prize drawing, and if your business card is in the bucket, then you have a chance to win something if you are a chamber member. And we have anywhere from 3 to 4, we've got as many as a dozen different door prizes at various times. The second reason for being a member is you have a chance for a 10-minute spotlight. And guess what? We don't have anybody designated today. What do we do? Got an idea? How many of you here are a chamber member? You have not had a spotlight yet, and yet you could do one spontaneously. Anybody want to volunteer? Under that criteria? Probably.
Haven't done one in more than a year.
Probably. I got an idea though. David, can you whet our appetite regarding the chamber luncheon? And you think you can do that for 10 minutes maybe?
10 minutes.
That would be a tight schedule maybe, but maybe you can whet our appetite a little bit.
Oh, yeah, they can go.
Let me go, you'll follow me, okay? Sure. Before I say that, before I do my little 30-second deal here is, if you have not had an opportunity for a spotlight yet at all, where are you? We've done one maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I'm going to do one again. Please see Julie so she can get you on the calendar so we don't kind of. Next week, I believe, it's going to be our 5th Sweet Lady. Okay? Joanne will take care of that for next week. After that, in 2 weeks, I don't know that we have anybody do it. You on that?
That'll be, we'll draw. We can draw.
We'll just draw next week for who will be the following. Okay. All right. All that being said, everybody I think knows what I do. If you're struggling with pet odors or got any kind of odor known to mankind, or even with allergies, those problems can be solved with a single device, whether it's a single room air purifier or one that can treat an entire house. And I also specialize in alkaline water. I made 10 gallons worth of deliveries yesterday. That doesn't happen very often. And I even got a new customer yesterday who's very excited about alkaline water ideal for keeping your body hydrated and healthy. And after that, I'm done. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, David, enlighten us a little bit. I've heard David speak probably 4 or 5 different times, and every time I've always walked away with some of the new nugget. From a security standpoint, things almost change, seems like on a daily basis. You know, and he stays in tune with all that. So hopefully he can let our appetite regarding what you will hear in a far more detail, chamber luncheon, seminar, and all that. Take it away, David.
morning, everyone. I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench in it. I'll talk a little about security, but instead of talking a lot about security, because I'll be doing that at the luncheon and then the lunch and learn, I'm going to talk a little bit about me so you know why you might want to listen to me. Because, hey, I could be anybody wandering in off the street with no knowledge at all and just pretending it's easy to do. A lot of people have hang a shingle out and say they're security experts or computer experts, and they've managed to turn one on. So why would you want to listen to what I have to say? Well, my background starts quite a long time ago. I was born and raised down in South Florida. I was born in a place called Miami Beach. That makes me very, very rare. People go to Miami Beach to die. Most of the hospitals down there don't even have a maternity room. They have a geriatric, several floors of geriatric services. They don't have maternity. They do have, there's a couple, but most don't. It's really weird. The only place that's more rare than that, or maybe just about equal, is Key West, Florida with birth. Very few people are born there. So that makes me pretty rare. I started that back in the 50s. I lived in a place called Hialeah. The only claim to fame for Hialeah, it has a racetrack. They race horses there. People that know the horse track, most of them usually have lost some money there. Life proceeded pretty good as a kid. I had a great time in the 60s. Then my father passed. Life kind of changed for me, and I ended up hitting the road at a pretty young age and moving, hitchhiked to New York City, and lived in New York City on my own until I was 17. At 17, I decided, hey, I need an education. I mean, I kind of skipped high school, skipped junior high school. I've been living in the streets of New York City. That's an education unto itself, but it's not one that's going to get you a job. So I decided I should join the service, and I looked around at the different services, because if you're going to commit yourself to something, you better make sure you commit yourself to the right one. So I looked at the Army, and the Army was willing to teach me how to use a gun and how to shoot really well. Remember, this is the tail end of Vietnam. I decided, well, I already knew how to use a gun and didn't want to learn how to use it better. I thought that was kind of, duplicate. I looked at the Marines, and they were even more intense on the shooting and charging at the beaches. And I was used to surfing towards beaches, I didn't want to get into fighting on the beaches. So I decided that wasn't such a great idea. I looked at the Air Force. That was pretty cool because they get to fly planes. So the problem was I don't have 20/20 vision. So I couldn't fly a plane, and other than that, they get to retreat at 600 miles an hour. That's cool, leave quick. But they don't teach you electronics, and that's really what I wanted to learn. They teach people how to change boxes, and a very small amount of the people that join to do electronics go into depot repair, which is where they actually repair the boxes. I figured the odds of getting into depot repair weren't great, so I skipped that. And I looked at the Navy, and the Navy is interesting. They actually teach you electronics a little differently. When you're 2,000 miles out at sea and something breaks and you don't have a repair part for it, but it has to work. Take the radar on a ship. Got to have the radar working. Whether you have parts for it or not, you better figure out how to make it go. So they teach you electronics engineering at the lowest level for electronic repair, so that in the case of an emergency, you can take something else apart, not related to a radar, use the parts out of it, and get the radar going so you can get to shore and get the right parts. Now that fit in my scale of things. I got to learn how to do electronics. So I did that. Of course, the military is kind of a strange place. There's the right way, the wrong way, and the military way. Anybody who's been around the military knows that statement is true. So at the very tail end of my service, I joined for 6 years to get that electronics training. And it's equivalent to an electronics engineering degree, but without all the nice stuff that you get in college. All the fluff. They don't have time for that. You get 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week electronics training for 15 months. You learn electronics, but not much else. Still can't spell, can't write a paragraph, but that's a whole separate issue. So at the tail end of my service, I had been stationed on what's called a large slow target. It's a flat bottom ship that they use for running up the beaches. I spent 4 years on that one. Yeah, I'm not spending any more time on this thing. But I only had 1 year left in the service, and they said, well, you don't have enough time to get a shore tour. I'm like, okay, now you can kind of talk me into re-enlisting, and they did. I went to shore, and of course the military is a very strange piece, and they went, you have a TV, right? And I'm like, yeah, I have a TV. And you could fix the TV? I'm like, yeah, I can fix the TV. They went, great, you're a chief engineer in charge of broadcast television studio. At that point, I'd never seen, other than the little V
VCRs and stuff. I'd never seen the inside of a broadcast television studio. So I wandered into my new duty station and I met a civilian that they hired to run the place who was retiring. And he went, let me guess, you've never seen a broadcast television studio? I'm like, score one! Exactly. So he said, well, you know electronics. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been doing that a while. He's like, great, here's a book that's literally this thing called it's the Handbook for Broadcast Television Engineers. He said, take this home, study it for a couple weeks, come back, and I'll teach you what you need to know before I leave, because he was gone in 3 months. I went home for 2 weeks, studied that book cover to cover, hit it hard, came back, and in 3 months he actually did turn me into a chief engineer. I rebuilt that studio a year later from the ground up with all new equipment. So I got a chance to really learn video at the lowest level, how it works, the nuts and bolts of it, not just recording it, but actually what goes on in it and why certain things work and why certain things look awful in video. So then I got out, went to work for Sony Corporation for a while, and did some more in video stuff, because that was kind of fun. And then I decided, you know, I really liked computers, because back at that point, when I was in the military, the Apple II, the Altair 8008, and a bunch of other computers. Heathkit came out, other ones, and we got to play with them. Now, on military pay, I couldn't buy one because we lived it below the poverty line. I love the way that the U.S. government pays military folks. It's like you get to get shot at, you get to do all the dirty work to protect everybody, and you get to live below the poverty line. So you learn how to stretch your money. Thank goodness today we have a lot of organizations that help the vets, but that's a separate topic. So I said, you know, this computer stuff, I had a lot of fun with it. I want to combine computers and video and my ability to build things. And I went into multimedia before they called it multimedia. And I produced over 50 projects that were used at trade shows. If anybody's ever done a trade show, you know that you've got one shot at a trade show. When the date comes for the trade show, you either have what you got to have or the trade show goes on and you miss it. And let me tell you, when you're doing multimedia and contracts that are $50, $100, $200,000 in whack, you don't get paid unless you make the trade show. Now, we did over 50 of them. Never missed one. I will admit we came close more than once. Some of the ones we did, we actually were in the booth, in a little box, working on its computer software as the show started. And we were fixing bugs as they found them on the floor. But we still got the job done. So that gave me a chance to combine engineering and computers. I continued in the computer arena before people started doing networking. Back then, everything was loosely connected. As we learned networking, I started doing data centers and started with security, because in a data center, the most important thing in a data center is security. So we started learning how, at the lowest level, how to install and get security going. Never really gave it much thought, continued that project for many, many years, working in data centers, building stuff, building embedded computers. And I've ended up with a very varied background in electronics engineering, computer science. Big chunks of it are self-taught. The engineering was actually hard-taught by the Navy. And that's how I've arrived at the security thing. I'm also the guy that most of my friends keep calling me up to help them when they get in trouble. And that's what started me in the Secured by Them business. Was a friend got hacked. I said, how do I avoid this? And I looked at it and said, oh, there must be somebody out there doing that kind of stuff for small businesses. And it turned out I was wrong. There wasn't anybody. I went to the SBDC, if you're familiar with them, the small business folks that are associated with college, and they'll do a free competitive analysis for you. If you've got a small business and you're not using their services, you're making a big mistake. You've already paid for their services with your taxes. You might as well take advantage of it. And they've got a lot of services for small business. Anyway, I had them do a competitive analysis, and they came back and they said, oh, you must be mistaken. There's got to be people out there doing this. It's too critical. And they came back to me a month later and went, there's nobody in that slot. There's people doing big business, medium business, nobody's touching small business. Here I am. Went ahead and tackled it. Anyway, I'll be talking to you at the end of the month. If you ever need something built, it's the other business I have, designed by them. If you need something built that you can't buy, and it help your home or help your business, I can create that for you. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions
Pick it up. experience. He was definitely well qualified for what he does. All right. Thank you all very much. Okay. Let's move on. Are there any other community announcements in the area that would maybe be of the benefit from a networking perspective that's going on? Never.
If anybody has a friend or they're looking for funding for college, one of our senators has a program coming up on February 15th at Calvin College. If you would like more information, let me know. I'd be happy to share the flyer with you. It's February 15th, and it's Dan Taylor. So it's working with me. So let me know. I'll practice the flyer on.
So schooling here has been to Wiley Acting Group Theater. So it's in Wiley, but who even knew that the community had a community acting group? Yes. So they are our recipients for our 2020 Brightway Gives Back campaign. So each year we pick a local nonprofit and we donate. It doesn't come from you, but we donate contributions for every single quote that we offer. So this year it's Wiley Acting Group. So I encourage you to look at them. It's local entertainment. It's local artists. They're amazing. And go check out a show this year. And then if you're interested in giving back, come see us and we'll do a quote for you and we'll sponsor them as well.
Accepting arrows, how about thank you? Maybe you've done business with lately and all.
Oh, yeah, one more.
Whoa, hey. Christy?
Oh, I got another thing. Okay, yay. Okay, Megan and I in our mastermind group, we're hosting Coffee on Us tomorrow at Conversations Coffee. Y'all know where that is, downtown Wiley, off of Ballard Street, across from the Wiley Chamber Building. It's Coffee on Us. Come hang out. It's going to be from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we're just kind of a meet and greet, have fun in the community, say hey, slow down, chat with your neighbors.
Yes. And we're picking up the entire tab.
Yes.
Wow. So if they say nothing's free, this is free. You just have to like at least say hi to us. But yeah, we're picking up the entire tab for the morning. So come out 7 to 11. Conversations. Tomorrow.
Christy, you sent me a referral, and I just wanted to say thank you. I was part of it.
Oh, you're reading for
Yeah, yeah, so thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, good.
That's what he needs to.
I want to thank Myers. He got I think I mentioned before, I had my other facility that had the largest unit says 3,000 square foot. Well, when I closed the facility, I didn't need the unit anymore. I went into storage. When I finally got my own apartment, it's only 1,000 square foot. I'm like, oh, I'm going to put Mars King in here because if you've ever rented an apartment, you know they kind of smell funky when you get in the first time. I'm like, Mars King is going to fix this. I go to plug it in and Mars King it'll work. And so it's taken a while, but I finally got back and forth with Barb and I brought that unit back in and he took it, got it fixed. And then there was even a problem, like I was missing the cord when it came back, he got that fixed. This man does a great job, y'all.
It's been challenging, but we got to take care of it.
Yes, and so now my apartment smells better. Thank you, Mark.
So I don't have the information that Dave does about the CERT coming
Yep.
up in February.
Yeah, in February, the end of the month, the last 2 Saturdays of February, they're giving the CERT basic training, which is emergency training for what to do while you're waiting for the emergency folks, the fire and the police to show up after a disaster, whether that be a fire, whether it be a tornado. And most of us live in this area. Face it, if Murphy or Saxe or Wiley gets a tornado seriously rolling through, it's going to take out a significant portion of the town. And you're not going to get emergency services right away. They may take up to a day or longer before you see them. And, you know, what do you do to protect yourself and your neighbors? Well, they're giving the course. It's $25. Go to saxecert.org. You can sign up for the class. It's the $25 covers the cost of some things and some lunch while you're there. It's 2 Saturdays, all day. You got to go to both. But it'll teach you how to help your neighbors, how to help yourself, what to do when an emergency of whatever kind strikes. So if you are interested in helping yourself during what we have around here, it's worth going to the class. You don't have to join the CERT team when it's done, but you'll at least come away understanding what to do to help yourself, your family and your neighbors while you wait for the emergency folks who will show up. Let's face it, you know, we kind of overwhelm them, and there's only a limited amount of them if the whole city gets hit hard.
Is that a C or an S?
CERT is C.
Okay.
CERT.
Okay.
Community Emergency Response Team.
Okay.
Anybody else? Carly?
I just want to thank Julie because of all the hard work that she did for the gala on Friday. It was fabulous, and I think she needs a round of applause because
Great time. Okay, time for your questions. What do we got?
Well, we have pet suites,
Oh.
we have pain relief therapy.
What's gonna go first?
Who wants to go first? Clifford's got his hand up. He's gonna give it to this guy.
Scott's, screw, I screw.
Well, I've already told Robert. Clifford, what do you want?
Clifford, get ready, take it away.
Let her get through your car so you can get something else here.
What did you just go second vote?
It's magnetic too, I think. It's like I have to do it, so like it's actually, it's then.
Who did this one?
Maxwell Creek Campus.
And we have Matthew.
See goodies?
Christie.
Yay! I already have one of those actually. Yes, I'm good. I have one on.
Pain relief therapy, she's got 2 different gifts.
Oh, yay!
Take one of those.
Fire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lacey.
Lacey, we've got Deborah Austin.
It's hot chocolate, right?
Yes. Some of my favorite chocolate.
Oh, that's better.
David.
David? Okay.
Linda, yo.
Did you get an ice cream?
Oh, no, what?
We have pain relief therapy.
What you want?
Next week, there's some
Cute, Betty.
Next week. Terry.
Terry, you
know the light with the face.
All right. George.
Old set, in fact, do not have, yeah.
Seth. What we got left? Don Chivers.
What about win?
It's a secret. It's from Special Best.
Wow, you are a winner.
Is that it?
Does anyone else have anyone else bring anything? Yes. For a giveaway.
Would you put perfume on this, buddy? Yeah.
Well, if I counted correctly, we had 30 today. And that being the case, if we renew that number, we're gonna have to start earlier than 8:10 for sure. Because I've already got like 9:06.
Yeah.
So try to be here a little bit more prompt on time if you would please. You're done.
I really do want to.